All right, can I ask everyone to take a seat, please? And I might just ask our teaching staff who are located up there if you can spread yourself out around the assembly area, please. Good morning, boys and staff. Also, good morning to our parents who are watching via live stream. I'd just like to welcome you all here this morning to celebrate our academic assembly and the presentation of awards for semester 1 in 2021. To start with, I'd just like to give the acknowledgement of land. So I'd like to acknowledge the Darumbal people, the traditional owners of this land. I'd also like to pay respect to the elders past, present and emerging of the Darumbal people and extend that respect to other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples present this morning. Just got a short reflection, boys, which will be followed by a prayer. So I'd ask that you make the sign of the cross with me. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Was recently an old boy of the college, Dean Jarrett, passed away. And Dean was a remarkable man who I only had the pleasure of knowing very, very briefly. And Dean lived in Nambucca Heads in northern New South Wales, and because of the COVID situation, a large number of his friends and family could not attend. So knowing this, Mr. Corboy invited his friends and families to a service here that was live streamed at the college. So I sat pretty much just over there and I watched the funeral proceedings on the big screen behind me. And I was accompanied by Lindsay Jarrett, one of Dean's nephews, also an old boy of this place, and other members of the Jarrett family. And at one stage in the funeral, Dean's brother Michael, this is down in Nambucca Heads, walked past the camera. And he walked so close that the only thing you could see on that big screen was this old boy's tie. And it was really hard for me to describe how I felt at that moment. Certainly it was pride, because I've devoted 22 years of my life to this college and I'm exceptionally proud of the things that take place here and I'm proud of what we do here. But it was more than just pride. It was a recognition. It was a recognition of the importance of a connection to place. This tie symbolised a relationship that both Dean Jarrett and Michael Jarrett and Lindsay Jarrett had to this college. And you see, when you get older, ties become more important. They actually mean something. You don't just go to your closet and grab one and pull it out. Maybe if you're Mr. Lawrence or Mr. Cooper you do, but generally speaking, the rest of us don't just go and grab one and pull it out. There is a symbolic reason for the choice that you make when you select your tie. If I was going to a job interview, I'd wear a tie that was classic, that was traditional, that would say I'm here to work, with a conservative pattern. I'd probably wear something like that to a job interview. If it was my high school graduation, I'd choose a tie that was thinner, fresher, maybe with a floral pattern, like this one. Okay. And I saw a lot of floral pattern ties at our recent graduation ceremony. To my wedding, something with a colour to match the bride's dress. Subdued pastels, maybe a fuchsia, because that day is about her, it's not about me. And that tie would probably look more like that. To the funeral of a friend, something a bit more sombre, tones of black. Probably like that. Michael didn't choose a floral option or a pastel option or a conservative option. He chose this option, his old boy tie. And the significance of that, guys, can't be understated, because Michael wouldn't have chosen this tie if he'd been belittled or berated while he was at this college. He wouldn't have chosen this tie if he'd felt culturally unsafe, if he'd been segregated, if he felt racially discriminated against. This is not the option he would have worn. He would not have chosen it if people had bullied him or berated him or made him feel humiliated. And he certainly wouldn't have chosen this tie if the memories that he has of this place caused him pain and anguish. But he chose it because those things didn't happen while he was here. He didn't experience those things. And he didn't experience it because of the people around him, his classmates, his brothers. And those people, his brothers, were all equally connected by this particular symbol. But just because you put a tie on, just by virtue of the tie, doesn't mean you are brothers. It's something that has to be nurtured, it has to be worked at, it has to be earned. Okay? And there's evidence of that can be found in the last of my props, which I've got down here. That's my Bible. And that Bible is littered with statements about the values of brotherhood, about the values of respecting each and every other person. In regard to brothers, Mr. Pearce's favourite quote, "Whatever you did for one of the least of my brothers, you did for me." There's another one in there that says, "All of you must live in harmony, be sympathetic, love as brothers, and be compassionate and humble." And my favourite from Psalm 17, "A friend loves at all times, but a brother is born of adversity." So my prayer this morning, boys, is that you allow this tie, the tie worn by Michael Jarrett, to be a symbol of brotherhood by the way you interact with every other person at this college on every day. That you be humble and protective and honest every time that you put it on. And should you experience that adversity, that you remember the way you treated your brothers, and hopefully you can draw comfort from them and in the connections that you have with them to this place. Mother of Perpetual Help, St. Brendan, live Jesus in our hearts, and the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Boys, I just ask Mr. Corboy to come forward now and give a few words.
Thanks, Mr. Horan. Good morning, everyone. All right, today, if you remember, we had a bet going on where there was a bet where you had to achieve a certain number of academic awards, and if you reached that, I would have to come up with something quite special for the entire school. So I'm going to hold that until the end, whether you met that, and remember that magical number was 350. So this morning, huge congratulations on everyone who is receiving an academic award this morning. And you remember that those awards are based on your commitment and effort to achieve, to be successful. And success doesn't come easily, and it has to come with a lot of work. I also want to, and those two, commitment, effort being, the main ingredients for success. And I'm going to throw another one, passion. And our job as a school is to provide the environment for you to be that best person you can be, as I kept saying, and to achieve, and also during your time here, hopefully have the experiences and the wide variety of experiences here to hopefully find your passion. So to begin, I want to start off and bring you into a little secret. I was driving home yesterday and I got a phone call from Mr. Horan on the way home last night, and he said that the guest speaker for today couldn't make it, and wondering whether I could say a few words, because today there's a full agenda and I wasn't going to speak. So I said, yeah, look, no worries, that's fine. So when I got home, I started thinking about what do I need to say here around commitment, effort and passion. And so doing what you all do, got onto Google and came across all the different stories like Thomas Edison and Abraham Lincoln and how they achieved success through adversity and so on. I saw all these inspirational clips from the Dead Poets Society to Al Pacino when he was a coach of an American football team, to Will Smith with his son in the movie where he was homeless and how he achieved, and so it went on. And all these magnificent motivationalist Americans talking about what it means to succeed. But I thought, we have success here, and I wanted to bring it closer to home to who you were. Most of you probably would have known those movies that I was just talking about, and I'm sure as adults there would be others who knew exactly some of those famous lines. But I wanted to make it real for you, because I want you to understand the opportunities and the power that you have within yourselves to succeed at this great school. So, look, I just got back from out west, from Theodore and Maura and meeting all these wonderful families and Billawheeler. But before I left, we actually bought a container at my place, and we're looking to cut some windows out and do some welding and so forth. And I had a gentleman turn up from All Industries, a welder, and we started chatting. And I said to him, oh, by the way, how's Michael Guys going? And he said, fantastic. And I'm sure some of you might know Michael Guys. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, the other day I went to him and said, look, mate, and he's taking him through his apprenticeship, and he said, look, we haven't got overtime today, you're going to have to finish up at 3:30. And Michael said, yeah, that's okay. And he said, can I ask a favour? And Matt, being this guy, said, yeah, well, what do you want? He said, can I actually hang around for another hour just to watch you work and see how you do things? And this guy said he was blown away. For the fact that he was going to spend his own time on his own coin to be there to watch this person work, and that sense of effort and commitment to his apprenticeship and be the best that he possibly can be. Then I thought of Tom Busby, and I knew Tom 19 years ago. And some of you might not know Tom, but Tom was a university student where I was working at Marist College, Ashgrove, working in the boarding house. And I remember Tom sitting in the dining room playing his guitar. He then went on and achieved his university degree and became a lawyer. But his passion was music. And then one day he decided to put down his pen as a solicitor and follow his passion. And now he has a very successful music career and travels the world. And he's on TV, spruiking Queensland as a holiday destination. You may see him. Then I had employed PJ Marsh. And for those who are boarders, they know PJ, and I'm sure most of you do. PJ was a young wayward boy from Doringa and had the opportunity to come to this great college. And then following his commitment to his sport and went on and played State of Origin and so forth, and is really passionate about this great school. Then I'm thinking of Father Noel. Father Noel, an old boy, became a priest. His passion is this school. He took years to write this book, all about this school, its history. It will be forever here for generations to come, so they understand our commitment and our tradition and how we came to be. Then I was thinking of Dr. Dean Jarrett. Came here and found this school as his second home. Dean Jarrett is also a doctor. So for boys, what that means is, to get your doctorate, you've basically got to do another 4 to 6 years of study. You have to pick a theme that's never been studied before. You then have to become the expert in that field. And you write 40, 50,000 words over those years to prove or disprove your thesis. So Dean, in his time here as a young Indigenous boy, found a second home and followed his passion with a lot of hard work and effort and became a doctor and a professor at a university down in Sydney. May you rest in peace. And the list can go on. And you can talk about the Harry Grants and all the other people that have graced this school that have gone on with their passion through commitment and effort and achieved. But I want to leave you with a thought and a challenge. The first one is a thought is be careful how we measure success. I was coming in this morning and I was listening to the radio and Paddy Mills, the captain of the Australian Olympic basketball team, and how he signed a contract for $16 million, top of the world. And then I was listening to the radio yesterday coming after Mr. Horan's call, and the young man with a partner who developed Afterpay and how they're being taken over by an American company for $39 billion. Wouldn't that put a smile on your face? But careful, a lot of people measure success with a dollar value. But I put it to you, success comes in all shapes and forms. I put it to you, that man who provides a stable home environment in a loving, caring home for their sons and their daughters and their family to grow, aren't they successful? Or say the two boys from Gregory Terrace, another EREA school down in Brisbane, who developed and provided a service called Orange Sky Laundry, providing laundry services for the homeless. Aren't they successful? Or we have the farmer out west, a lot of people I met, who through trying conditions is providing the best that he can be, the best farmer for those conditions. Or the business owner here in Yeppoon, providing employment in trying economic conditions. Aren't they successful? Or the plumber, who's just honest and reliable and has that reputation of being a decent person. Aren't they a success? So be careful how we measure success. And the challenge, I'll provide a free lunch to the first person who meets this request over the next 24 hours. As I said, I was out west yesterday, Bellawilla, Mowra and Theodore, and I was in Mowra and I was speaking to some families and their sons are coming here, and we're at this venue and talking, and they were talking about their year sevens for next year, and they said, oh, he's a great little athlete. And this other one said, he's pretty good at high jump too. And they then made the comment about him coming here and the realisation that when they get to the Rocky districts or whatever regional titles, that they were big fish in little ponds. And, they were coming 8th on that 100-metre race. And we were saying, well, they have limited options, in regards to coaching and expertise. But I wanted to make the point to them, and I did. I said, passion and commitment and effort has no bounds and not geographically determined. What if he had that opportunity for some specialist coaching? He's got the main ingredients for success, and we can nurture that. So the challenge or the opportunity I want to provide for that first person to come and see me or send an email to me, I want people to do some work to look at stories, come up with the top 10 Australian stories of people who have succeeded but have come from humble grounds or regional areas, because there's some great stories out there. So I want you to do the homework. So I'll provide you a meal for the first person who comes with the best 10. So it can't be all sport. We've got the Ash Barty, for example, who #1 in the world, came from humble beginnings in a working class suburb of Brisbane called Ipswich. Or the Tom Busbys, who came to this school in central Queensland. But it can't be about sport, but the challenge is an email, principal at SBC and so on, and the rest, to come up with the best 10 examples of people who come from humble grounds or regional backgrounds who have succeeded. And why? Because I want you to be empowered with the stories of the Tom Busby sitting in here, the Dean Jarrett sitting in here, the Father Knowles sitting in here, and all the people that you too can be a success. So finally, once again, a big congratulations to our boys today who have achieved their awards. I'm sure you're very proud, as we are proud of you. Thanks very much.
So we'll move on to the presentation of our awards, and the first awards this morning will be to the Year 7 cohort, and to present them will be Will McFarlane. And Will is an academic A+ winner, and this is the first time he's had the opportunity to speak to a full assembly, so can you please put your hands together for Will.
I would like Mrs. Tracy Deasy and Mr. Jonathan Gill to present the academic awards to the Year 7 students. The Academic Achievement Awards, which require at least one A and nothing less than a C, are the first on our list. They have been awarded to the following boys: Jack Bartlam, Robert Clifton, Tate Dillon, William Granger, Zane Hadfield, Ewan Halberstader, Lucas Harris, Jack Hughes, Eli Hutchins Barnes, Cooper Jones, Logan Jones, Ben Kingston, Harold Chris, Joseph Lay, William Lees, Mason Luck, Jeremy Martin, Preston McFarlane, Bailey Meager, Tarn Medlin, Kai Miller, Maddox Ryan, Cody Tamati, Harlan Twiddell, Bo Upton, Andre Viljoen, Ash Walter, Rhett Weatherall, and Riley Visa. Please put your hands together for the Year 7 Academic Achievement winners. The Academic A Awards, which require 2 or 3 A's and nothing less than a C, go to the following boys: Isaac Brady, Reed Brazier, Morgan Bridgman, Aidan Kane, William DeLuga, Dex Adamstone, Tate Fisher, Tyler Forbes, Ty Gredden, Noba Haberly, Eli Janke, Tyler Johnson, Jay Marsh, Aura McGilvray, Benjamin Miller, Jake Paletti, Daley Smith, Bronson Toby, Ben Vaughan, Reed Weinart, and Kobe Wren. Please congratulate the Year 7 Academic A winners. The final awards for the Year 7 boys are the Academic A+ badges. Receiving them are Michael Baker, Hunter Ballard, Oliver Bennett, Thomas Cross, Nathaniel Davey, Nicholas Eaton, Darcy Frankish, Mason Fuller, Caden Hoare, Mason Hollingsworth, Carter Hughes, Michael Hutchinson, Jasper Jansen, Oliver King, Anthony Lowe, myself, Will McFarlane, Sydney Richins, Kobe Scanlon, Callum Schmidt, Xander Thornton, Archie Watts, Zach Whitehead, and Cooper Witts. Please acknowledge the efforts of the Year 7 Academic A+ again.
And guys, I might get you to put your hands together one more time for your 7 A+ winners. And as they depart, just a big thank you for Will. It's quite daunting to stand up here in front of so many people, and he did a great job of announcing the awards for his Year 7 cohort. And announcing the awards for the Year 8 cohort will be Matthew Bezadenhout, and Matthew is also an Academic A+ winner. It's also Matthew's first time in doing this particular role, so can you put your hands together for Matthew?
I would like Mr. Bjorn Prince, Head of Year 8, and Mr. Gill to present the academic awards to the Year 8 students. In Semester 1, the following boys received an Academic Achievement Award for their results: Max Armstrong, Macklin Baker, LeBron Bartlett, Jordan Beath, Callan Bedford, Jackson Booth, Maxwell Bowman Conlon, Jackson Burkhart, Kyan Kane, Nash Caulfield, Deegan Crook, Tyler Crossland, Rafferty Donaghy, Dylan Griffiths, Kobe Hoff, Jacoby Hurt, Ozzie Jackson, Mac Leggett, Hunter Lorenz, Jake Loudon, Charlie McClelland, Aidan McDonald, Oliver Miles, Hutch Pisani, Mitchell Roberts, Hugo Rothery, Brody Scullen, Lincoln Simpson, Cooper Smith, Gareth Wakubi, Patrick Waller, Jack White, and Bray Williams. Can you please acknowledge the Year 8 Academic Achievement winners? In semester 1, the following boys received an academic A for their semester 1 performance. Keely Bones, Blake Champion, Cameron DeForno, Oliver Dadson, Sam Daly, London Duggan, Declan Dunn, Matthew Dunwoody, Jesse Emery, Connor Lees, Oliver Leet, Nate London, Slater Marshall, Jet Mattingly, Nicholas Meyer, Jake Murphy, Finn Newman, Cooper Pierce, Joshua Russell, Fletcher Scanlon, Charlie Strugnall, Jai Svensson, Isaac Thompson, Stephen Wickerson, and Jarrell Willis. Please congratulate the Year 8 Academic A winners. The final awards for the Year 8 boys are the Academic A+ badges. Receiving them are myself, Matthew Bezadenhout, Nate Brooks, Ezekiel Curran, Mason Dendel, Stacey Hollingsworth, Harrison Hoy, Samuel James, Peter Kalachinsky, Jesse McQuinney, Nate Muller, Hayden Rutledge, Ashton Ryan, Toby Simpkins, Ambrose Tibbs, Etienne Van Veek, Jack Watson, and Mackenzie Watts.
Can you please congratulate a Year 8 Academic A+ winners? And thank you, Matthew, for doing such a fine job of the announcing. Okay. As we've got a performance for you now by the Murray Bungee Dancers, and these boys recently danced for a number of the primary schools up in Rockhampton. They were meant to dance today for a crowd of about 300. And given that opportunity was cancelled because of COVID, we thought we'd give them a chance to dance in front of a crowd of closer to 800. So can you please put your hands together for our Murray Bungee Dancers?
Yeah, we're the Murray Bundy dancers, and because we missed out on an opportunity, we're here outfilling for some entertainment. And yeah, the boys are gonna do a celebration dance. It was a bit hard, especially with the spacing we got. It's a bit small. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thank you. That's the dance from the Murray Bundy dance group.
Moving on to the Year 9 Academic Award winners, and the person who will be announcing those is Matthew Campbell. Matthew was the Dux of Year 7, he was a Dux of Year 8, he's now working on being the Dux of Year 9, but he has a lot of strong competition by a number of other boys in his particular year level. But can you put your hands together please for Matthew Campbell?
Assisting with the presentation of the Year 9 awards will be Mr. Paulo Picotto, Head of Year 9, and Mr. Shane Pears, Assistant Principal Identity. Starting with the Academic Achievement boys, we have the following awards. Michael Amity, Jacob Barr Richards, Lachlan Davis, Davin Detsage, Alex Eaton, Max Garvey, Hayden Gittins, Ethan Harinona, Harrison Hill, Dylan Hughes, Sam Kingston, Braylon Marsh, who's away at Rugby League, Spencer McDonald, Wyatt McGaw, Tyler Melrose, Tarkin O'Bree, Ethan Perry, Brad Ratcliffe, Matt Rogers, Tide Simpson, Will Witten, Cooper Wickman, Cooper Wilton, and Philip Yock. Kindly acknowledge the Year 9 Academic Achievement winners. Meeting the criteria for an academic A are Clay Dendell, Jack Hardy, Cooper Jukes, Joe Manns, Samson Minto, Nate Pears, Riley Todman, Liam Welsh, Kai Willett, and Roman Wilson. Please congratulate the Year 9 Academic A winners. The Academic A+ badges and certificates will now be distributed. Isaac Alexander, Jackson Broom, myself, Matt Campbell, Alex Sirachi, Brad Cumberledge, O'Sheen Foster, Simon Green, who's also absent in Rugby League, Jacob Hill, Matt Kershaw, Tyke Leonard, Jamie Long, Ben Mazafari, Riley McFarlane, Jacob Maguire, Lachlan Maguire, Quinn Mursky, Dan Rees, Jack Simpkins, Max Smith, Dominic Thompson, and Josh Voke.
You put your hands together for this group of young men. As you'd be aware, there are a number of prefect positions in the senior school, and one of those is our Liberating Education Prefect, and that particular person is Saxon Kona. And in his role this morning, Saxon is going to announce the Year 10 award winners. Can you please put your hands together for Saxon?
Mr. Roll, Head of Year 10, and Mr. Pears will distribute the awards to the Year 10 boys. Receiving academic achievement certificates and badges this morning are the following boys: Mervyn Armat, Caleb Bullman, Ethan Cusack, Charlie Hemmings, Connor Hines, who's out at Rugby League, Jack Hutchinson, Liam Johnson, Nathan Kelleher, Zachary Morgan, who's out at Rugby League, Leo Simmons, Anasa Tamoy, who's at Rugby League, Banjo Walker, Rugby League, and Isaiah Water, who's at Rugby League. Please put your hands together for the Year 10 Academic Achievement. From the Year 10 cohort, the following boys have attained academic A badges and certificates. Samuel Bent, Malachi Deed, Lachlan Dowick, Darcy Drought, Jack Dugan, Lachlan Farrington, Jacob Field, Kaylin Humphreys, Cody Killerley, Ty Lasker, Dominic Lomas, Mackenzie O'Connor, Oliver Rogers, Andre Salandanan, Cruz Warner, Kieran Weaver, Charlie Willis, and Maxwell Woods. Please give a round of applause for the Year 10 Academic A winners. Achieving the criteria to be awarded an academic A+ are the following boys. William DeForno, Zach Ellum, Blake Field, Dawson Foden, Eli Harding, who's not here, Murphy Holt, Rococo Hunt, Jordan King, Luke Moore, Austin Salter, Patrick Slade, Eden Smith, Ranger Sullivan, Elijah Walker, who is not here, and Kalani Walsh. Please congratulate the Year 10 Academic A+ winners.
We now have a musical performance for you by the Year 10 and 11 Contemporary Band. Now, this band was meant to represent the college as part of the Queensland Catholic Music Festival this year, but unfortunately, with the COVID restrictions, they're not able to go. But they're also going to be one of our entries in this year's Central Queensland Battle of the Bands to be held at the Pilbeam Theatre on Friday the 10th of September. They're going to be playing Treasure by Bruno Mars, and the song was released worldwide in 2013 and charted to #1 in over 40 countries. The funk and disco vibe of the song has drawn critical acclaim because of its similarities to groups of the 1970s. Can you please put your hands together for our contemporary band?
so blue. Yeah, everything that I see in my dreams, I wouldn't say that to you if it wasn't true. Whoa, I know that you don't know this, but you're fine, so fine, fine, so fine. Whoa, oh girl, I'm gonna show you when you're mine, oh mine, mine, oh mine. Treasure, that is what you are. Honey, you're my golden star. You know you make my wish come true. If you let me treasure you, if you let me treasure you, you, oh, you are my treasure, you are my treasure, you are my treasure, yeah, you are, you are my treasure, you are my treasure, you are my treasure, yeah, you are my treasure, treasure, that is what you are, you are my treasure, you're my golden star, you are my treasure, make my wish come true, you are my treasure, let me treasure you, you are my treasure, let me treasure you, oh.
Thank you, boys, and thank you, boys, for the way that you joined in with them. The Year 11 awards are next. Isaac Green has volunteered to announce for his cohort. Isaac is an academic A+ winner. Can you please put your hands together for Isaac?
Distributing the Year 11 awards will be Mr. Merrifield and Mr. Cooper. The academic achievement recipients in Year 11 cohort are Theodore Arians, absent at work placement, Jack Broadfoot, Charlie Busby, Max Chambers, Fraser Caulfield, Hawani Harris, absent at rugby league, Will Henderson, Sam Hendry, Mark Hode, Alistair Lasker, Slater Lay, Michael Lucht, Xavier McFarlane, Aston Miller, Jarvis Murray, Caden Nelson, Dominic Nezik, Harrison Ryan, Ryan Selwood, Stanley Sims, and Charlie Waller. Can you congratulate the Year 11 academic achievement winners? The academic A badges and certificates have been awarded to the following boys: Kaiden Ajisaka, Mitchell Baker, Narai Bindero, Cooper Christie, Isaac Dooley, Trey Gesler, Hayden Harvey, Jesse Hooper-Lindsay, Jet Mannion, Robert McKenna, Lachlan McLeod, Ninikapoya Morrow, Mackenzie Nixon, Lachlan Sweeney, Riley Tyndale Smith, and Hendrikus Voigt. Please recognise the efforts of the Year 11 Academic A winners. The highest of our awards, the Academic A+ badges, go to these boys. Lincoln Beckett, Callan Campbell, Xavier Craggs, Cameron Frankish, myself, Isaac Green, Jeremy Green, Matthew Hay, Benjamin O'Brien, Alexander Rees, Angus Reynolds, and Jackson Smith.
Guys, can you recognise the efforts of our Year 11 A+ boys? And to our Year 12 awards. Our captain, school captain, Michael Young, is going to present the awards to the Year 12 cohort. Please put your hands together for Michael.
I would like Mr. Cooper to present the next awards with our principal, Mr. Corboy. In the Year 12 cohort, the following boys are eligible for an Academic Achievement Award: Blake Andrews, Dempsey Davey, Corbin Dendel, Bladen Dodd, Cody Giles, Brock Hines, Kai Johnson, Harry Perrott, Connor Peterson, Joshua Scales, Marshall Sullivan, Hastings Swift, Jared Taylor, and Kai Wilson. Please congratulate the Year 12 Academic Achievement winners. The Academic A badges and certificates have been awarded to the following boys: Jack Billman, Ethan Bird, Flynn Donaghy, Logan Gardner, Harrison Gray, Mannix Hunt, Lincoln Johnson, Amos Krotkoff, Jai McDonald, Benjamin Moran, Max Pollard, Benjamin Sheehan, Ashby Sinclair, Xander Civilians, Lachlan Tompkins, Riley Willis, and myself, Michael Young. Please acknowledge the Academic A Award winners. Next, receiving the Academic A+ Award winners are Declan Bowler, Jacob Groves, Chase Heald, Saxon Kona, Jesse Laverty, Kalani Lorway, and Tom Ogle. Can you give a round of applause for Academic A+ winners?
Thank you, boys. Thank you, Barungai. I might just get you to put up one click on that slide. Okay, because boys, as you would be aware, when you get an academic award, that counts to your house prizes and your house challenge at the end of the year. So Mrs. Shields every year or after every semester collates all of these results for me. And in fourth place in terms of their academic awards, we have Gettins, 755 points. Third place, Hayes was 785 points. In second place, Tynan with 815, which means Dewig with 850 points. Are continuing what they do on the sporting field by the looks of that. All right. So, gentlemen, I just might get you to go quiet for a minute, please. I started this morning with a reflection on brotherhood, and I'll end there with a slight reflection on brotherhood again. Brotherhood is in the way that you acknowledge the boys when they stand up here on stage. Brother is the way that you give them a high five or shake their hands when they walk past you and go back to their seats. Brotherhood is in the very essence of the way that you involved yourself with the boys when they were up here performing on the stage, and brotherhood is a way that you acknowledged our Murray Bungee dancers. That's the stuff that ties this school together and makes that tie a symbol of something that's important. So please remember that. But brotherhood just doesn't relate to the friends around you and the mates. Again, it's everybody in this community. So I think we need to show appreciation for a number of people who've done an extraordinary amount of work this morning. Firstly, Mr. Jorgensen, the tech boys, can you put your hands together for them? For all of the artworks, I certainly enjoy seeing them every academic assembly up here on the big screen and on the side screens. Thank you, Mrs. Cooper and Mrs. Goves, for that. Can you please put your hands together for the art teachers? Our music teachers, Mr. Ingram, Mr. Owens, Mr. Walker and Miss Priddle, for their training of these particular boys who have performed for us earlier. And boys, your parents are a huge part of this community. They're watching via live stream, so can you please put your hands together for your parents? And with that said, thank you for your cooperation today, and I know Mr. Corboy has a few words to finish off.
Thanks, Mr. Horan. Okay, just to talk about the outcome of our little agreement. If you remember, I lost last year and we ended up putting on a whole day of activities and helicopters and sideshow alleys and so forth. And we're at that point again. The magic number is 350, and I was quite happy to stand up here this morning, and concede that the number I've been told of boys receiving academic awards was 352. But being the competitive nature that I am, I started counting, and I only came up with 348. All right, so we've got a problem. So I went over to Mr. Horan and said, hang on, 348 doesn't cut it. And I'm a firm believer in rewarding if you achieve, okay? So Mr. Horan said, well, hang on, there might be a mistake that we've counted boys who have actually left the school but got an award like Grenfell and others. And he gave me one name, and I'm going, okay, that's 349, but it's not 350. So we're going upstairs. We're going for a review, and we're going to go back over the numbers, and I'll get back to you in regards to the outcome of this deal. So next assembly, upstairs, we'll come back to you with that. Thanks very much.
Boys, I'd be fairly certain that I took more than one name off of the awards brochure. I'm fairly certain when Mr. Corboy does go back to the actual report cards, which is the official list, I reckon we'll get to the 350. But at this stage, it's 349, and we'll just have to wait until next week. If you are seated in the section at the rear, can I please get you to now exit through the back doors? Boys over on this side, we'll lower tiers first, head out through that.